Windows 11 on Microsoft's Surface Duo. For a long time, we thought this sort of radical port being done by Gus33000 on Twitter, and now some other people are apparently going to help him out with that, which is great to see. We thought that was going to be something that was only going to be on the original Surface Duo. And before I jump into this too far, I want to let you all know I am not an expert in any of this stuff. I am a layman in the lamest sense of the term. And I am probably going to speak out of my rear a little bit. But my understanding of this is that in some way, something about the Snapdragon 855 that was in here, when you went to the AAA, some things were enabled. Some things happened that made it so that it was very difficult to accomplish that same feat. Now, my understanding, like I said, very layman's understanding, is that in some way virtualization is involved. Now, I don't know a ton about this, but again, basically, what I understand is that you've got your hardware and the firmware itself, in addition to the operating system, all this stuff is apparently on the AAA with Android running inside little virtualized boxes, which sort of partitions things and makes it harder to work with. I'm not going to say anymore because I'm going to just bungle. If you want to know more about this stuff, message Gus. He's tried to explain it to me. He's tried to talk me through some of these things, and it's like, it's bulletproof. It just won't, it's not going to get in there. Sorry, is what it is. But apparently, he's figured out a way to at least begin the slow process of getting Windows 11 running on a Surface Duo 2. He tweeted the other day on the 31st a picture of a Surface Duo 2, and then quickly followed up with, should I even say anything else at this point? We all knew what this signified. We all knew what he was hinting at when he did this, and then he followed this up by tweeting this. Now, I don't know exactly what this screen is. It's a hello world of sort. Perhaps this is a bootloader. Yeah, it looks like, okay, yeah, this is a Duo 2 bootloader for the Duo Windows on ARM project. So this is the first, like, baby steps towards getting this to work. And as he pointed out here, no, this was not like a one-day revelation. He'd been working on this all the way back in May and just wasn't sure if it was going to be worth talking about. Now, I had known he had been working on it, but you're not going to say anything because you're thinking to yourself, well, I'm not going to say, hey, I'm working on this. Expectations get blown out of proportion, and then it turns out that this just really isn't going to work very well, or it's going to be like impossibly difficult. Excuse me, I'm sitting on my wall and it was hurting. Impossibly difficult to get working correctly, so it was kind of kept a little bit under wraps. But now we know it is in fact being worked on. Now, this is a much touchier thing to do. Apparently, small things can really mess this up in a bigger way than before. So he actually, in a conversation the other day, mentioned that some things that were working, not in Windows itself, but like the baby steps towards getting to a bootloader, stuff got messed up with just a simple monthly update. Because of the fact that it's virtualized, everything is much more delicate. You have to like really account for every little bitty change that probably shouldn't make any difference, but because of the virtualization being used and you're having to play nice with something like that, it makes it very, very delicate and easy to break. So we also, speaking of breaking, we want to pump the brakes here a little bit, and let's not get super duper excited yet. It is very cool that Windows 11 could be coming to the Surface Duo 2 at some point in the relatively near future. Duo 1 Pro, I think, is going to remain his primary focus because there's, it's so far along. I'd like to see that kind of, let's get that to a really good place before we switch gears. Also, more people have Duo 1, I think, because of all the, the flash sales and so forth. I feel like there's more people with Duo 1s in their hands, but Duo 2 is possible. Once you get you got to build a foundation of the house first, and that's where he is now. And then once that's built, the process should be really, really similar as with Duo 1. So hopefully that means things will move along a little bit quicker, but there are additional hurdles to jump, like the fact that we have a 5G modem. Do we want to ignore the 5G modem because it's not actually like built in? It actually has to be addressed like over a PCIe. It's not an integrated part of the AAA. It's tacked on. So does that get ignored? There's a lot more variables on the Duo 2 versus Duo 1 as well. So there's some stuff to consider with that as well. But at any rate, at the risk of going on any longer, that's pretty much where we are. It's baby steps first, but if you remembered rather, couple of days back, I said you should be following Gus on Twitter. This is what I was talking about. This is what I was kind of hinting towards And yeah, now it is public information. So very, very cool. Of course, I will be bringing this information to you as time goes on. Whether or not I'm going to actually install it on here, I don't know. When I installed it on here, well, I wasn't using this anymore, so it wasn't as big of a risk. I really love my Duo too, and I kind of don't want to mess with it. But maybe, just maybe, there's an installer coming at some point. I don't know if it's going to, right away work with this or not, but there's talks of an installer to make this a lot easier as well. So, like I said, we'll cover all of this here on the channel as things do progress forward. Guys, if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss another video just like this. And I will see you on that next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.